What's up, guys? And welcome back to Sunday Sports Club Podcast, a podcast all about sports told by a woman, and that woman is me. Hi, guys. I'm Allison Kuch, and I feel like you guys love hearing from women when it comes to postpartum and what that looks like differently when it comes to being married to a professional athlete or being a professional athlete themselves. So today I have on a very special guest. We have on Reagan Bregman. Hopefully I pronounced Bregman right.
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
A entrepreneur, wife, mother of two, and her husband is in the MLB. He is a third baseman. Baseman is what you would call that, correct?
Yes. Yep. He's a third baseman.
So
Good job.
yes, a lot of stuff is happening in your life. Number one biggest change is that you were a few weeks postpartum.
Yeah, few months. So I'm 3 months
Okay.
now. Yes.
I still consider those weeks. I think up
I
until
know.
4 months, I'm saying weeks.
I was going to say, I feel like it's still weeks. Like it still feels so, I still have to remind myself too. I'm like, I'm literally, like 12 weeks postpartum. Like it's still so new.
Yes. And around 12 weeks, I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm no longer postpartum. Like, why am I not like 100% back to my normal self? You were
Right.
very much postpartum, I would say, until a year. Like that's
Yeah.
just my genuine take. So how has the transition from 2 to 1 or 1 to 2 been?
Good. And I would totally agree with you because I felt like with my son, I thought I was like done being postpartum at like 2 months. And and we went to the World Series that year and like did the whole postseason run. My son was like 2 months, between 2 months and 3 months, we were doing that. And I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm like, I already had him. Postpartum's over. I feel so good. Like absolutely not looking back. But it did take me literally a year to feel like myself again, like fully.
A full year.
Yeah.
I think I specifically remember my daughter's first birthday and thinking to myself, wow, like I feel really great. Like I'm like just honestly feeling not back to how I was, but I'm feeling like
Yeah.
more me and just like
Yes.
I can run and not feel like I'm gasping for air.
Right.
So for you, your first pregnancy, you gave birth, and then how long after was the World Series?
So my son was like 7 weeks old when we did our first trip to go watch my husband play because I wanted to get him like used to doing a trip because the postseason was when he was 2 months. So it was like from 2 months to 3 months was pretty much that whole month, like that whole run of October. And he went on every single flight with us, did every single trip. Like it was literally pure chaos. It was insanity. Like looking back, it was totally crazy. But I mean, it was fun and I'm glad I went because we did end up going to the World Series and winning. So it was like I wanted to be there for that, and I'm glad I was, but it was rough. But yeah, he was like between 2 and 3 months, but I didn't know it at the time. And I love that you talk so openly about this online on social media, but I had the worst postpartum anxiety. And so like looking back, I'm like, I've learned so much this second time around that it's been a lot better. And I hope like I'll feel like myself sooner, I guess. I definitely still don't yet, but I do think with him, it was like really a solid year before like the anxiety really started to like go down. I mean, I literally think it just stays forever because I don't know, probably get more anxious as they get older and like are able to do more things. But I do feel like, it just takes a long time to kind of get, I don't know, that postpartum anxiety takes a while to like die down. Or it did for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, the anxiety, like the worrying about, am I doing things right? How can I do this differently? Like all of those stressors with your first child are so real and raw, and it's your first time doing it. So you're like, it's just me and Google at this point. And like any of my friends that I panic text with your second baby, have you found yourself like, okay, I feel more comfortable because I'm more experienced and I've done this before?
100%. Not that I even like am that experienced, but like I really do feel like it because with the first, I literally got home from the hospital. My husband left that second. Like he drove us home and then he went on a road trip, like within a minute of dropping us off at the house. Like it was crazy. He was gone. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I don't think I really know how to change a diaper. Like, did I watch the nurse do it well enough at the hospital to where I could do it all on my own? And I remember being like, literally like shaky, like, okay, like I think this goes here. And like none of my friends had kids yet. Like I was the first of all my friends to have kids. So I was like, I'm like, who do I call? I need to call some of my like baseball mom friends because I know they had babies in the last couple of years. I'm like, how do I do this? And how do I do a schedule? And like, I just didn't know anything, you know? So then whenever you come home with the second, like I was like, oh, I can do diapers. Like I'm basically almost still doing diapers on my toddler. You know what I mean? Like I can do diapers.
Exactly.
I'll figure out the schedule thing. Like life will go on. Like with my first, I was like, is life going to go on? Like, I don't know. Does it just
Yes.
stop? Like it kind of like, I had that fear of like, oh my gosh, everything's different now. But like looking like with the second, it's like, oh, everything's different, but like, I'm excited. Like he's going to grow up and he's going to play with my son. And like, it's more
Yep.
like an exciting thing for me. So for me, the second has been way better
Yeah,
experience.
everybody has their preference when it comes, or not preference. Everybody has their opinion when it comes to the hardest change. It's
Mhm.
0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. I'm just going to say is probably the hardest. But
Yeah.
in your opinion, do you think 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 is harder?
I definitely think 0 to 1. 0 to 1 just like rocked my world. Like it
Hmm.
was like a shell shock, I think. I was still like in fight or flight for so long. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? You know, I felt like it was such a shock. This time I knew what I was signing up for in a way, even though you don't know,
Yeah.
because it's all new, but I feel like this time has been a lot more manageable and also just like you said, like I have a little bit of experience. I kind of think I know what kind of mom I am too. Like I'm more confident in that. Like I
For
know
sure.
who I am as a mom, which I probably would have never admitted at the beginning with my son, but I didn't really know. Like I was like, am I being a good mom? Like am I, thinking about that all the time. And this time I'm like, okay, like I know what kind of mom I am. I know who I want to be. I know like I kind of know what to expect. So
Yeah.
I think 1 to 2 is easier than 0 to 1 for me.
I absolutely agree. And I don't even have a second child
Yeah.
yet, just
How old
because of
is your daughter?
my daughter is now 19 months.
Okay.
So the idea of a second baby is, like, around the corner,
That
but
was me. That was me
yeah,
right then.
it's
19 months.
exactly.
I'm
19
like, "Oh, I
months and,
feel
like,
good."
she's, like, independent playing, play dates,
Mhm.
I'm like, she's out of sight, like, it's so
Mhm.
crazy how much she's just, like, gravitating towards these older kids, and I'm starting to
Aw.
realize when she's around other kids, she's actually easier, she's more entertained, she's, like, a happier child, so I'm like,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I guess we're
I
gonna
know.
have a second child, but
Yeah.
the idea of, like, the 0 to 1 rocked my world because there was
Mhm.
so like, the learning curve is huge, and then on top of that, for me, I wanted everything to be perfect, and somewhere from her being a newborn to a year old, I was like, I have to pick and choose my battles. So the second child, I feel like I'm gonna be a happier mom because I
Yeah,
already know that I'm going to pick and choose my battles ahead of time.
right.
If something isn't going my way, I'm gonna change it up because I just need to be, like, at peace with that.
Yeah,
But I also feel like your first child and your second child are so different because of your husband not being at home. So what has
right.
the second birth postpartum looked like with your husband being in the MLB?
It's been better, and I think it's been better because of me saying what I need, if that
Mhm.
makes sense, and I'm the same as you, like, I kinda want everything to be perfect all the time, and I have what this vision of, like, what it's all gonna look like and how it's gonna be, and the first time I just simply was not prepared. I didn't know I had postpartum anxiety for a long time. Like, it took me, like, 2 months to even figure out that I was, like, worried buildings were gonna fall on him all day long, like, and light fixtures and stuff. Like, I was, like, so stressed about these things, and I didn't even
Yep.
like that. I was like, "Oh, that's normal. Like, I have a baby. Of course I'm worried the building's gonna fall down. What if what if it does?" You know? And I was
Yes.
like, "Okay,
If you
like,
say that to any sane
obviously."
person, they're like, "You have something wrong with you."
Exactly, and even when I say it now, I'm like, I was writing letters to him, like, I was like, "If in case I die, I just want him to
Oh.
know how I feel about like, I love him so much." Like, it was totally not, and that's so not me, but, like, I couldn't see it at the time, and so I didn't even
Mhm.
know how to ask for help, I think, too. Like, my doctor told me, she was like, "I think something's up, like, I think you're having postpartum." I was like, "Really?" I thought this was normal. Isn't everyone worried about their kids? But it
Yeah,
was like
right?
unrealistic, obviously. And so I think the second time around, I learned how to have other people show up for me too, like specifically my husband, because I think
Mhm.
he didn't understand it either. He's like, "What? What do you mean? Like, it's going to be fine. The painting's not going to fall down. Like he just didn't get it.
Yes.
And so after going through that experience and then us, learning a lot from our friends having kids and hearing other people's stories, like it really does help when other people come out and talk about postpartum, because it makes you feel a little less crazy for feeling that way. And like, hey, this happens like to people. You're
Yes.
not nuts. But he learned that too. And so I think the second time around, what was better about at least him being gone all the time is that he kind of learned how to show up for me in other ways and just be there and like listen and like, hey, I don't always need you to like tell me I'm crazy, or like not that I'm crazy, like tell me that it's fine. It's like I just sometimes need you to listen, or like I sometimes just need to like talk through this crazy fear or something. But I think that has been like a big change in that. But what was your question? Was it about him being gone?
Well, yeah.
Keep
No,
talking
but
forever.
honestly, that helps because it is interesting. The first postpartum, you don't even know what you need at that point. And I mean,
No.
obviously, with every child, it's a little bit different. The baby's going to be different. Their demeanor is going to be different. What they need, what you need. But I almost feel like the second baby, you know a little bit heading into it, like, hey, I know that I'm probably not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Can you help me out in that way?
Right.
Or you just feel more prepared and you feel like you're able to vocalize like your needs better.
Right.
But it's hard when your husband might not be physically
Right.
there. So
Right.
that's what I was curious about, because he was traded to the Red Sox from the
Mhm.
Astros during off
Mhm.
season while you're pregnant. How
Yeah.
many weeks pregnant were you when you learned this information?
So we were in free agency that year. So we had like talks with lots of teams, and it was getting towards the end of the off season. And I think I was 30, it must have been 38 months, right? Yeah. I
No
mean,
way.
yeah.
38
Oh my
weeks.
God. Did I say months?
Yes.
This is what I need.
It's
Like,
mom
literally, this
brain.
is why I was looking at June earlier. I was like months.
Yep.
And then I'm thinking, like, damn, that's a long time to be pregnant.
Absolutely. So you're
38 weeks. So I'm 38. No, I must have been, I was like 32 weeks when we found out. Yep. Because I had him at 38 and I moved, maybe I was a little before 32 weeks.
Mhm.
And then we moved right when I was like 32 weeks here. But it was like really rapid fire. Like we moved within like literally a week and a half. Like it was crazy fast.
Well, because 'cause you're not
Um,
supposed to travel at 34 weeks, like,
that
or
was it.
after
It
34.
was like right before that time frame. And I was like, I don't, and I also had my first son at 38 weeks. So I was like, I don't want to risk, because like I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I was gonna have him early, which I did. I had him at
Yes.
38 weeks naturally. Like it just happened
Okay.
again. And so like I felt like, hey, I need to like stay put. And so the second we got a house, I literally came up to Boston. I was here by myself for like 5 weeks, pregnant as shit with a
Yes.
toddler, like
You're like, "What?"
very pregnant. Um,
Pregnant with a
uh-huh.
toddler, moving, your
Yeah.
husband might be not 100% physically there,
He was
so
in spring training, so he was not even like allowed to come here at all. He was in Florida for spring training, and our spring training is 6 weeks long. And so also like we didn't know who we were signing with yet. So spring training could be in Florida or Arizona. So we didn't know
yeah.
that until like that second. And then the next day he was on a plane to Florida to do spring training.
So
And then I was
you
like going to Boston.
yeah, you're like, "I need to go to Boston and find a doctor to
Yeah.
deliver said
Yep.
child in my stomach that
Hmm.
might come out any day in the
Yeah.
near future, and I
Yep.
also have a toddler, and we're
Yep.
also moving, and we need to find a place to live, and then you're going to a different state,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna need to figure out all this." Do you like, when it comes to help, do you have family, friends? Like, have you hired help? Because that
Yes.
is you're not able to do that on your own. Like, you need
No.
to use your village.
I had this like intense, just I didn't want to have help. I could do it myself like the whole like first year of my son's life. And I was like, I also wanted to work, which doesn't really
Yes.
make any sense. But and my husband's gone all the time. But I learned over time. So yes, to your question, all of the above. I've had sitters come when I need to work. I have my mom's literally in town right now. She's watching them out there.
I love
Um,
that.
but like I really believe in the village. Like you do, it takes a village, and it really helped. Like you said, how your daughter like loves to go play with other kids. Like I see that with my son, and I'm like, I need other mom friends that have kids my age that we can do play dates with, and they can come over, and it like takes a load off of me a little bit to be able to like
Yes.
relax and talk to them while they play. You know, it's like you need that community and that village and motherhood. And I don't know, that's like a huge thing with me. I just feel like all hands on deck. You know what I
I
mean? And
was
like our life is crazy. Like as you know, your
mhm.
life, I mean, you're like kill it.
I
Your
don't know what's
career
going
is
on.
insane, and your husband, it's like it's so much on somebody to like do that 24/7.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it is a lot, and with all of, like, the things you're also having to pick up because your husband is, like, at practice or at an away series or playing in a game or I don't know, this or that, I feel
Yeah,
like you have the mental load is so much bigger because you're having to pick up the slack of, like, your partner constantly not being there and having just
right,
to, like, still be prepared for anything around the corner. For me,
right.
I'm very similar to you in that the first year I was like, "Surely I can work full-time and
Yeah,
be a stay-at-home mom," like,
yeah.
and so many women do that, and those
Yes,
women, forever in my brain, you are insane, like, insanely incredible
like
because
Superwoman. It's yeah,
I
amazing.
got burnt out at so many points postpartum because I was trying to do everything, and then I finally got to the point where I was like, "I need friends to come over and be like,
Yeah,
"Hey, don't worry, I'll watch the kids play for an hour, and then, like, I can like, we can, take turns doing that," or, "Oh,
yeah,
hey, here's my babysitter. Why don't you use her every once in a while?"
yeah,
And it is incredible to have to build that village. It's
yeah.
incredible to be able to utilize that village too because it
Right.
makes your life I just feel like a happier mom is, like, the key to, like, a happy family. I actually
I
think there's, like, research on that.
I totally agree with you on that, and it took me a long time to realize, but now, especially with 2, like, my bandwidth, I just don't have I cannot work with 2 kids in the house, and I got, like, newborn, then I got my toddler who wants to play with me all the time. It's like,
Yep.
you can't work within that, you just can't. It's like the it's been stretched too far kinda thing with 2.
Yes.
So it's kind of forced me into that, but I totally agree because I'm like, whenever I'm and, like, I feel like you find your work very fulfilling, it seems like, so it's
Mhm.
like, you get to go do something that fulfills you, fills up your cup so much, you get a break, and when you come back, you're just, like, present and happier, and like you said, like, it makes everybody happier, right? And it's
Absolutely. And I think I
yeah.
got to that point where I was like, I feel like I love being a mom and I love working and having this identity outside of being a mom, and I didn't
Yes.
like the idea of having to choose between the 2, but once I made the decision to, like, have my mom come in sometimes or
Yeah.
have a babysitter a few days a week people get mad at me if I say babysitter, sorry guys, nanny. But I
I
there's so
always say either I know.
I'm like, "Okay, sorry, I don't know which word to use." But once I did that, I realized, like, "Oh, I can be happy working, and then when I come home, I can be happy as a mom, and I don't
Yeah,
feel like I'm being pulled. I don't feel like I'm having to make a decision between one or the 2. I get to do both
right,
fully and
right,
presently."
right.
And that I think was, like, the biggest learning curve for me as a mom. As a mom, I never want to have to be worried about the comfortability of the shoes on my feet. I want to be worried about chasing after my toddler and if I'm fast enough to keep up with her. I want to be worried about taking enough pictures or videos to capture the memories. I want to be worried about what's for my next meal because those are things that actually matter. And just spending time with my daughter uninterrupted is so important. And Asics shoes are such a game changer when it comes to the comfortability of my feet and being able to stay on my feet all day long. And I'm talking like some days I'm hitting 20,000 steps. That's a lot of chasing after my toddler. And that's why shoes are so important. And Asics believes that movement is what brings us together. So each step forward becomes a journey towards something more community, more connection, more miles. And it's not just about the number of miles you go, it's about the number of miles you share. So you can move your body, move your mind with Asics. If you guys are interested in trying out some Asics for your own feet and chasing after your toddler, or, maybe after your husband, your dog, whatever you got going on in life, even just a casual stroll, highly recommend Asics shoes. They're so comfortable. They're hugging your feet with every step. So be sure to visit asics.com and use code Sunday at checkout for $10 off your order of $100 or more. Exclusions may apply. If you guys are anything like me, you've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought like, I wonder if that actually works. So back when I was postpartum, I had seen so many things about Nutrafol. I had taken it before, but I was like, okay, like let's really test it out for myself because postpartum hair loss is very real. If you guys haven't experienced it, it's like clumps of your hair falling out. So I decided to jump on the Nutrafol postpartum formula, and
noticeably saw a difference in the amount of shedding my hair was doing. I feel like less and less, and it definitely took a few months, but less and less. I noticed the clumps getting smaller and smaller, and it wasn't just the fact that less of my hair was falling out. It was also like the thickness, the feeling of my hair, and the shininess. And the thing that sets Nutrafol apart is that it is the number one dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's trusted by over 1.5 million people. So you can feel great about what you're putting into your body, since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF Content Certified, which is the gold standard and third-party certification for supplements. So see thicker, stronger, and faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code Sunday. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Sunday. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Sunday. Let's rewind back almost 2 years now, which feels crazy to say, back when my daughter Scotty was a newborn and we were picking out Coterie diapers because I had heard so many good things about them. They're so soft, but also they're designed for sensitive skin from day one. I trusted Coterie back when my daughter was a newborn, and I still trust them today. We love their diapers and use them, I mean, obviously multiple times a day, but something that I am utterly obsessed with is their new skincare line, okay? It's making parents' lives easier, and all the products are great at multitasking, which as a parent, you have to be good at multitasking too. So they have the First Wash, which is a tear-free hair and body wash that leaves everything very silky. You have your Soft Cream, lightly but so effectively moisturizes both the face and body, and the Bun Balm, and this is gorgeous, an occlusive balm that I love not only for diaper changes but also for dry patches all over. You guys, my husband has been using the Bun Balm. I didn't tell him it was actually called Bun Balm. He just thinks it's like a really thick moisturizer. But he loves it, and my daughter loves it, and I love these products on her skin. And I also love that these take out a lot of that guesswork by being hypoallergenic, dermatologist tested, made without fragrance or parabens, cruelty free, vegan, microbiome friendly, pH balance, like the list goes on and on. If you guys are interested, be sure to head to coterie.com and use code Sunday20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at coterie.com.
What did moving look like? I mean, when you're pregnant and you have a toddler, are you like, I'm hands off, we need to figure out, like, somebody needs to come and pack us up because I'm not touching a box?
I definitely was the latter. We've moved a lot, and not like self-chosen. Like, we were in Houston for a long time. We could have probably stayed in the same spot, but we moved houses, we've leased houses, we lived in Arizona for some off seasons, and then we were actually in Arizona when we signed with Boston. Temporary situation,
Yep.
like renting and boxes, but not everything. And so normally my mom comes and we I always have packers and movers, but I still am kind of hands-on, picking everything out. This time I was like, I'm not doing it. If we sign this late, I've got to have help. I mean, I was so pregnant. And I was I'm the kind, I stopped working out at maybe 6.5 months because I was worried I would make the baby come. I know that's not going to happen, but I was I don't want to be
worried about it.
Lifting boxes. Yeah, I was worried about him coming early, and I'm can you imagine I have a baby in Arizona and we sign in Boston and he's in Florida? Oh my God.
I just keep the raspberry leaf tea out of my face.
Yeah,
No
literally
dates.
nothing.
We're preventing.
Yeah. I was on preventing mode. I'm reading all this stuff to do anti that. But I did end up hiring people. I had amazing people that helped me here in Boston, unpack and stuff and get it all set up and get my son set. We're also here renting. So it's it wasn't as bad to move because I didn't have to move furniture.
Right.
But this time I was a lot more okay, I need to hire people. I've got to sit down and just kind of coordinate and watch my toddler. That was my thing. I was I'm just going to be watching him all day, and I'll hire help to help me unpack
and watching a toddler.
And
that's a job in and of itself.
That is yeah, I mean, he's a wild man. Right? I gotta be all eyes on him 24/7, or he's doing something crazy.
I'm curious to know, because you've mentioned like you've had a lot of moves. For
Mhm.
me, I realized the more moves we had, the less I started caring. So when it
Mhm.
came to my husband's last football team, I didn't care what the house looked like. I didn't care about bringing any of our like I'm pregnant and I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna nest in it." No, I
Oh, yeah.
literally like cheetah carpet in Vegas. It was a nice house. Like obviously
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
great, but I didn't
Yeah.
care about anything else. I was like, I just want like a clean, nice place to come back to. I need a nice neighborhood so I can like
Yeah.
go for walks
Safety.
with the dog. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it was like safety, cleanliness, and those were like my only things. Everything else went out the window. Whereas in like the first
Yes.
move, I moved everything we owned,
Mhm.
all of our
Oh, yeah, you stopped doing
furniture,
that. You
all of our
find out you might be
belongings.
moving again.
Yes. So for you, have you realized like you care less the more moves you go through?
Yeah, I think, and we got really lucky with the house that we got here. I'm obsessed with it. But we normally, yes, like my standards go down, first of all. And second of all, I know that I can live with less. I have like,
Mhm.
and like you, like I have like my minimum things, right? Like I know I need like safety because I do want to go for walks, especially postpartum. I was like, if I can't go for walks
Yes.
postpartum, I might lose my mind. And I need to be able to get outside. So like there
Yes.
has to be some sort of backyard situation. Um, and with my toddler and stuff. So it's like I have like my bare minimum things. And then I always travel with my coffee machine, my espresso machine. It just makes me feel at home. And
I
that
don't blame
I don't
you.
care how much I'm like, I'm shipping that thing. I mean, maybe
Mhm.
it would make sense to like buy another one. I don't know. I don't even care. That is like my, I don't even know, like therapy. I like
It's like
need that in my house.
yeah, it's like sisterhood of the traveling, like, coffee machine
Mhm.
because
It's been
you're like
everywhere.
at some people have a blanket and some people have a coffee machine, like,
Yeah.
as their sense of comfort.
That's me. It's my espresso machine.
Right.
But yeah, I do. That's like, I have like my little things, that they make me feel at home. And I always also have this mentality, like I will not feel moved in until about 3 months in. And I just try to remind myself of that. I always have this thing of 3 months. I don't know where I got it from, but like it takes me 3 months to really adjust and really feel at home in a place. And even like without, yeah, I don't I don't really care. I'm like, as
Yeah.
long as I can sit on the couch and watch TV, like it's fine. And my husband can, right? We have like
Yeah, right.
sports on. It's fine. But I do think that like I always remind myself it takes me a little time because I feel like sometimes when you move, you're like, oh, I need to feel at home right away. And like that's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. Like you're not going to know where to go for the best local, coffee or I'm like love coffee.
Right.
Like you're not going to know, where to take your son or your daughter to a play place right away. Like it's going to take
Right.
some time of learning the area and all that. So I like give myself some time to adjust and like remind myself that.
I was
And
gonna
that
ask,
kind of helps.
what do you think is, like, your deciding factor is to be like, "Okay, I actually feel like I'm at home." Is it, like, a morning routine that you feel like you're in the groove of? Is it knowing, like, "Okay, these are my favorite restaurants, my favorite coffee shops?" Is it, like, "Okay, I know where to go for a walk?" Or is it even, like, the sense of community when it comes to the baseball team? Like, "Oh, I have some girls I can hang out with." What is it for you that makes you feel at home?
I think, I mean, first off, it's usually always the people. I think meeting good people and having the community probably, but like realistically in this time, it's just like knowing the area, like knowing where, because I feel like my family is like my people. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
my sons now and my husband, it's
Yep.
like we like have each other. And like that's kind of how I was growing up. I lived all over the place when I was a kid, and it was always me and my brother and my parents. So like it didn't matter where I lived. I always
Right.
felt at home with people. So I think that's like the core group. Like I always feel at home that way. But then once I kind of get to know the area, like I said, like my local spot to get out, get a coffee, my local place to take Knox to go run around, or like
Mhm.
our favorite date night, like a good restaurant that we love that's kid friendly. Like you can bring your kid and it's like loud enough. If they scream,
Yes.
you're good. It's like that kind of stuff. Like once I find those things, I'm like, I feel like I'm adjusted more once I kind of get in the groove of like, okay, what does my day to day look like? Like, where do I
Mhm.
go? What places do I like? That kind of thing. That helps me. But I feel like it's people. I
It's
think it
funny you
helps.
mention the where to go for a date night, but you can bring your toddler. My husband and I, we've lived on and off in Orange County for the
Mhm.
past 8 or 9 years, but recently we came across a restaurant that has good food and, like, it's in a cool area, and it also has, like, a little play area for kids. I'm like, it's not a super nice restaurant, but it has a little play area, and
But
you
if
can,
the
like
food is good and there's a play area, I go
So
there
we
every
just
night.
sit there. We bring her stroller and her baby doll, and she is gone. And she's in our line of
Oh,
sight. And I'm like, this is my ideal date night. Like, we still
yes.
have our daughter. We can still spend time with her.
Mhm.
She's enjoying herself. We're enjoying ourselves. We're
Right.
drinking margaritas over here.
Yeah,
She's
that's the thing. You both have to be enjoying yourselves and then it's fun. You know what
yes.
I mean? It's like if you can find a place where you can do that, it's the
But I was like,
dream.
I'm now at home. Like after
Yeah,
9 years, I feel so at home here. But
I love it.
I also agree that like the community or the people you're around, obviously my husband and my daughter, like they're always going to be like my sense of home no matter where we
Yeah.
go. But something about me is that when it came to the NFL and moving, I always like to find at least one or two women that I could call up if I needed something. I could call up and ask for recommendations. When it comes to the MLB, what does it look like in terms of you get traded to a new team or you get picked up to a new team and making friends or making connections? Is it like a very open, welcoming group because you guys have so many games? I'm
Yeah,
curious what that
there's a
dynamic
lot
is.
of games. There's
Yeah.
games like every day. But so I have only been on two teams ever. And when I first met my husband, he'd already like been in the World Series and like knew all the guys and knew their
Mhm.
wives like prior to me even knowing him. Do you know what I mean? So it's very
Yep.
different dynamic for me to walk into
Yeah.
because I was able to like meet his friends' wives. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, and he
Because you
already
like
knew them.
yeah,
So like
they
I was
were like
meeting
all
his
already
friends.
established.
Yes. So I was coming
Okay.
into that, and that was very, very welcoming to me, and it was great. Like I had a great experience, and I'm from Houston, or not from, but I've lived there forever.
Yep.
I went to school nearby. Like I had community there so quickly, and then I met the wives, and they were nice, and it was great. So this is my first time ever, like kind of entering into a new team, and it's been really good so far.
Yep.
Like I've met a lot of what it's hard because I was like so pregnant and then had a baby. So it was like MIA, like I'm like not around.
That's the time you're
And then my
not
husband
leaving
got
your house.
hurt. No, and I didn't want to leave. I felt like I liked being home with the second even more. I was like, I like this little newborn bubble
Bubble.
thing. I can stay
Yes.
here. This is great. Watch the game on my couch.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like I've been really welcomed. I think it's very open. A lot like people get traded all the time and you're going to a new team. And then there's like, you meet the family liaison. They have a great one here in Boston. And she like immediately like, hey, here's all the stuff we're doing. Here's you're invited. We have babysitters. Like I wanted to go to this ice cream event. And it was like my first time getting out of the house. And I brought both kids by myself with like a newborn and like crazy toddlers, like running all over the place. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. And I had to also volunteer. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know how I'm going to do this. But I
You're
just
like,
showed
"How
up.
am I?"
Yeah, we figured it out. But they like really did. They literally Ubered one of the babysitters over from the family room to help me out. And she like helped like with my son. And then like when I was chasing my son or we were scooping ice cream, she helped with the baby. And so like I was able to like manage that event and like still go and show up. And they were really welcoming and almost like, hey, we really want you to come. Like we'll provide like what kind of help do you need? Like that kind of
Yep.
thing. So it's been a really good experience so far. It hasn't been that long, but I feel like it's been so good, like being welcomed into a team that has such a good like structure set up for
Mhm.
families. But I do feel like I think a lot of the teams are like that. Like they have,
Yeah.
the family liaison and then just the wives are moving so much. Like, I'm sure you know
Yeah.
that from football. But you guys have a lot more people,
Yeah.
right?
A lot more. There's like I feel like the NFL is crazy that they have like a lot of in-season moves, which
Yeah.
I feel like is yeah, that's ever changing. And it's just nothing is ever certain. Like you can sign a contract and still get cut. So nobody,
Yeah.
like literally nobody is safe. But one
Yeah.
of my good friends, her fiance plays in the MLB, and she
Oh,
said like
nice.
wherever you go, like the family liaison or like the community is so great when it comes
Yeah.
to how the organization is treating the family, and that's so
Yeah.
nice to hear
Yeah.
because I'm sure with that many games, guys going on like these away series, they're longer away when the NFL is only 17 games. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be lonely, but like I'll see him eventually. Like I'll
Right.
get around to
Right.
him. But
Yeah.
even hearing about like traveling as an MLB family, because correct me if I'm wrong, like some teams you're allowed to go on the team plane.
Only the two teams I've been on, it's only the family trip, which is one trip a year to one
Mhm.
city. And then sometimes it's the postseason. So
Okay.
you can go for the postseason. So like when my son was 2 months, my first son was 2 months old, when we did the World Series and all that, like we went on the plane every single flight, every city, which is great because you don't have to book your flights. And it's like, you could like lose and then have to fly back or win earlier than the series. You know what I mean? Like you could clinch earlier and then you'd fly home that night versus the next day. So it was nice to have that. But no, we don't normally travel with them, or we
Okay.
can't. So we have to travel separately. And then they have like 168 games or something. I actually don't even know the exact number. I think it's 168.
He's like, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's like every day. They get a couple off days a month, but sometimes the off days are like, and then when it's a couple a month, it's like we've got events or things, or like or sometimes it's a travel day, or sometimes they spend the off day in the other city, and I'm always sad because I'm like, oh, an off day. But it's
Oh my gosh. You're like, okay, I'll see you when I see you. It's okay.
I don't think I'm going on that trip, but
like I'll see you when I see you. But so you guys were with the Astros for quite a bit of his career.
Yeah.
What was it like leaving all those friendships?
I feel like that's always the hardest part about leaving somewhere is like the people, and just my family's there too. So like my family, his sister, my parents, his sister, all live in Houston still. And like she has a daughter. So I think that part is hard. And my son met his like best little friend, Lucas, on the team. They're like they're so cute. They're like the same age. And my son has brown hair and he has blonde hair, and they just like run around. They're like the cutest thing ever. They have a cute little friendship. So that was hard to leave. Just because, you've built, like you said, like these are girls I can call up and be like, hey, having a crisis, I need you to come over, or hey, I need something. And they will like show up for me, and I know that, and I'll show up for them, like that kind of friendship. That part's hard to leave, I think. But I've always been super, I think I'm sure you might feel like this, but like I kind of have to go with the flow. Like if I don't, I would be like going crazy because our life changes, everything changes all the time, and it's moving, and plans are changing, and now we're traveling here, and this thing happened, and it's just kind of chaos and crazy. So like I feel like I kind of like give into it a little bit because I'm like, I'll figure it out, right? Like I'll get there and I'll figure it out.
Fully. Towards the end especially, I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't care what doctor my baby is pulled out of my body from. I don't care what hospital. Like my husband, like I would like if he was there, but like if he's not there, like actually whatever. I will figure it all out. Craziest thing is I didn't even plan to have like a postpartum help of any kind, and I was getting a C-section and it was the middle of football season. So like that was kind of crazy. But I also feel like this lifestyle kind of like brainwashed me to be like, I could do anything on my own. Like I'll figure it out. And now in hindsight, I'm like, I was not going to figure that out alone. I would have been actually fucked. Like I would have not been okay.
No. Did you know you were having a C-section? Like, was it planned?
Yeah, she was breech. Yeah. And she was breech from 30 weeks. So I had no choice, and I knew that was happening. And granted, like we could choose like what day I went in and got my C-section, but like everything after was just kind of, I don't know what's about to happen. But you know what? I didn't feel like planning. I was like, if I plan, then it's going to go haywire for sure. So I just was like, whatever. And it ended up happening where my husband got released. We ended up giving birth in a different state. We moved. It was crazy.
Yeah. So then how do you plan for that? You can't. It's like almost impossible to predict you know what I mean? Like to know that would happen.
So plan A, B, C, D, E, it goes on and on.
I think it's safe to say that we're all just trying to live up to the version of us that our dogs think we are. So my dogs, Frankie and Gus, assume that like I have everything together. You know what? Actually, they probably don't, because back when I was postpartum, I would forget, an hour or two past their breakfast time, and they became obsessed with Chewy just as much as I did, because Chewy has everything together. They have food delivered fast. I had everything on auto ship, and I'm happy. My dogs are happy, and I'm not forgetting food and having my husband go out to the grocery store at unreasonable hours. If you guys are new to Chewy, it is trusted by over 20 million pet parents. They have over 100,000 products from top pet brands, and they make it easy to find everything from food and treats to bed and toys, and all delivered to your door within 1 to 2 days. You guys, they even carry stuff for birds, fish, reptiles, and other small pets. I actually just placed a very large order because our neighbor let us know that fleas are all around the yard. So I placed a fat Chewy order. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewpanions.chewy.com/Sunday. That's chewpanions.chewy.com/Sunday to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. chewpanions.chewy.com/Sunday. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details. Now, I can't really say much when it comes to men's underwear, but I can speak on behalf of my husband, and my husband is obsessed with Saxx. Okay. So if you guys are new to Saxx, Saxx makes men's underwear that has been described by publications like Men's Health as life-changing. So their goal is to get more men to experience their patented ballpark pouch technology and see how this next level comfort can benefit their day-to-day lives. Saxx has been changing the game since 2006 and has on professional athletes that you know and love, attesting to their love of Saxx underwear. They have styles for every situation, from lounging to high-intensity sport. I'm talking marathon training. Like, if you think my husband looks sweaty, like, I can only imagine the crevices. Besides the point, so Saxx underwear features technology like cooling cotton, breathable fabrics, and no ride-up legs, and it's worn by over 100,000 men and professional athletes alike. I feel like this is so great for women to know because Saxx underwear is the best gift you can get a guy. Support his balls so that he can focus on what matters, you. No, but really, these make an amazing gift because most guys don't really buy themselves new underwear, unless somebody else makes them. And you know what? Maybe when they're not having to readjust throughout the day, they're going to think of you. Anyways, you've got the shoes, the gear, the playlist, but now your underwear is still stuck in 2009. Saxx underwear is designed to move with you, not against you, with moisture control, next level breathability, and the ballpark pouch that keeps everything in its lane, its performance from the base up. Because you don't cut corners at the gym, so why would you start with underwear? Check it out at Saxx.com. That's SAXX.com.
They say like children are very, what is the word? Like, not versatile.
Adaptable?
They're very adaptable, right?
Or
So
like-
how has your older son like taken to the new move to Boston?
So great. It's crazy. Like I remember my parents saying I was kind of like this as a kid. So I'm like, maybe that's just kind of where he gets it from, or I don't know. But he's like literally I signed him up for like a couple of days a week of a little program thing here. And he was like thriving, like loved it. And then like, he's met so many new people. He loves the family room here. He loves all the people. Like you know what I mean? He just like, It took him a little while to understand like what his dad is doing. Like he's like kept saying Astros.
He's like, he's
I'm
what?
like, no, like it's this team. I'm trying to like explain that to like a 2.5-year-old.
Yep.
But he does really, really well. And I think I've learned that too. Like kids are very adaptable. I am not the most scheduled mom. I just have a very hard time keeping a schedule because kind of like what you said earlier, like I know if I plan too much, things go so haywire that it doesn't work. And I've found that like not doing that works better for my lifestyle and kind of where we're at. And so for me, like that was the hardest part. I was always like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to mess up if, I don't have this schedule or I don't do these things or whatnot? And it's like, he was very adaptable because like literally the whole World Series thing was just so crazy when he was 3 months old. And then it's like, then we did off season and that was crazy because we won the World Series. So it was like, it was just crazy on crazy. And then he's staying at my parents for 2 nights. And it's like, I'm like, wait, what about his bedtime? Like, is he gonna, like shift and whatnot? And what I learned after all that is like, they're just so adaptable. And like, same thing, like to have their, like, we need to make sure he gets enough sleep, need to make sure he's well fed, like all, like the basics. And then it's like, okay, I can adapt and things will be okay. Like it doesn't need to be perfect.
No, the schedule goes out the window. I'm like, what time is her nap time? I'm like, whenever she's tired. Like I kind of I followed wake windows to a T. Like that was my thing. But it was like wake windows. If we're in the car, you're sleeping and I'm going to keep driving. If you're in a stroller, I'm going to figure out a way to like keep you in that stroller as long as I can to get a nap. So for us, it was always like naps on the go, like us being very like hey, we're fluid, so we need this baby to be
Yeah.
fluid. And it worked out in that way. I can't make it home for every single nap time. That's just not, I don't know that I can do that.
No, and then like you think about, like I see that you guys travel on like your TikTok and stuff. And so like how does that work with her? I mean, do you feel like you kind of just flex with like whatever, the timing and the naps and all that stuff? Cause I kind of feel like that. I do, but I'm always wondering how other people do it. Cause with traveling, I mean, it's different traveling too.
She is she impresses me every day. Like when we went to Europe, I think we were there 10 days. She quickly adjusted to the next time zone. And then when we came home, I think it took her 2 days to get back adjusted. And she was
Wow.
just like, go with the flow. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk her up too much because I know then the
I
second
love
baby
it.
is going to be like, absolutely not. I'm not falling for this, like your first
Yeah.
one. But
Yeah.
it is crazy. I think it's just because we lived our lifestyle like since she was born in that way. So she
Yeah.
was never like, "Oh, I'm taking naps every single day in my crib this time to this time." It was like, "Oh, we're always on the go." So she just
Right.
learned to nap on the go. Some parents can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm one of the parents that can do that.
I can too. I'm like, you stay in that stroller as long as you can. Even with
Yeah.
my son now, I'm like, should I try to be more scheduled with this one? I'm like, no, I can't because like, what if something happens in a couple months and we're traveling? And I feel like I also, and this is my own hot take, but like, I want to enjoy my life with my kids. Like, I want to be having a good time too. And like, that may
Mhm.
sound selfish, but I feel like it makes me such a happier mom. So I'm like, if we can go out and like actually make it out to a restaurant that night and he can come with me and like nap on the way in the car, or like, like there were like things that I feel like I was
Yes.
willing to compromise a bit on that so that we could both enjoy together. Cause I know if I was stuck at home and I know if I never went out or I had to like felt like I always had to be home for that I would not be as happy as a mom. And I think just
Absolutely.
with our lifestyle, it's like I needed some of those things to like for my own mental health, like to get out and to do stuff and to be around people. And like part of that came with him having to come along and do all the trips and do the,
Yes.
stay out or come to the games or whatever.
Absolutely. And that's when people are like, "Oh, how did you get her to like adjust to being on planes?" And I was like, "She doesn't know any different. Like she's been on a
Exposure.
plane like so many times in the first year of life that she's like, "Oh, we're going on a plane. Cool." Like great. I know that like new toys are about to show up on my lap
Yeah.
on this plane
Yeah.
ride, so I'm excied.
See, that's fun. And that's
Yeah,
a good
right?
thing to do too, like the novel toy thing on the plane.
Yes. Oh yeah,
I
I'm
get
like, we're checking out the iPad at the airport. I'm like, that's what you know. But little
Uh-huh.
does she know.
Oh, that's
But
great.
it is crazy to find ways to like make parenting like more enjoyable and like fit your lifestyle. I don't think when it comes to parenthood, it's like a one size fits all. And
Right.
that's why when anybody says they're doing anything different from like what my parenting style is, I'm like, oh, if that works for you, that's great. As long as
Yeah.
our kids are happy, healthy,
Right.
fed, and cared
Right.
for and
That's
loved,
it.
I'm like,
Right.
great, great. That's awesome. Like,
And
love that
everyone's
for
going to
you.
have something different and I think that's where I struggled a bit at the beginning with my son was because our lifestyle is so different. Like my husband gets home at like 11, is eating dinner at 11:30. And then it's like he needs to stay up a little. He does physical therapy after that. Like we're not going to bed till very late every night. So for me to put my child to bed at 7 does not work for my lifestyle because I can't get up at 5. I don't,
Mhm.
that's not my schedule, but I know it works for other people because they can wake up early because their job is early, right? So it's like
Yes.
finding what works for me and being like, okay, it's okay if I'm not like everyone else because this is what works for our lifestyle and our family.
Mhm.
And I think
Yes.
that is something too. I mean, you're right. And I try to do that with other people. I'm like, we do not have to have the same parenting style, but like, mine's going to look different based on what my family needs and what my son needs and what I
Mhm.
need. It's like a whole picture thing, I think, too. But that's the part with sports. I think that makes it so hard is like, honestly, like our schedule is just not great for kids. Like it's not ideal for kids or school or any of that. So it's
Right.
like navigating how to
Navigating. A lot of
do it.
navigating, a lot of, okay, what are we gonna do here? I have to ask, are you planning to bring your 2 boys to games this year?
I just was at a game yesterday with them. And I actually went to all 3 games this weekend, which I normally never do. My mom was in town and they're playing the Dodgers. So I was like, I'm going to go. So I took them to literally all 3 games this weekend. but yeah, I did. I took both of them. But there's like they said, they have like a family room. So my son's kind of occupied half the game there, like
Mhm.
with me. And my son is obsessed with baseball. So that helps. Like
That's
he
very
wants to
convenient
watch.
because his
Yes.
dad's in the MLB.
I'm like, thank God. It's like, this is what you're doing for entertainment, like half the time. You better enjoy
Yes.
like going to games, right? But
Mhm.
he likes watching. Like now he's like asking me questions. Like I feel like he's like exceeding my level of what I know already. He's like, so why does that happen? I'm like,
Like,
let's
we're
ask
gonna
your
have
dad
to
after the
yeah,
game.
we're gonna have to ask daddy later tonight because mommy has
Yeah.
no idea. Mommy didn't see
Mommy
that. Mommy
isn't
was doing a
sure.
diaper change.
Yeah.
You're like, "We'll
I
figure that
don't
out."
know.
When you
But yeah,
look
I do
at
take
the
both.
past 2 years of moving, like, 2 kids, kind of some crazy turns when it comes to your husband's MLB career, what is one thing that you're proud of yourself for handling?
Oh, I think for me, honestly, maybe postpartum. I just feel like
Mhm.
that was one of the most challenging things in my life. Like it really was so hard looking back, just mentally more than anything. So I think I'd probably say that.
Mhm. I think a lot of moms are gonna resonate with you on that one. Me especially. I mean, I think postpartum is probably one of the hardest things I've ever been through, and now coming out a year and a half later, I'm like, "Wow, yeah, I did that shit." And I'm like, "Am I
Yeah,
really supposed to
exactly.
do
You're
it
like, I
again?"
did it. Right. I know. That's the thing too. Then you do it again. I swear though, my experience has been better. I'm very happy about that. It's
Yes.
hard because now you got
Mhm.
like like two people,
Yes. 2
that you're
people to
trying
worry
to
about.
worry. Yeah,
2
exactly.
people to worry about buildings falling on top of.
Exactly, and I haven't had those fears this time, thank
I
God.
love to hear that.
Thank God. I
Honestly,
like,
that's
not at all. Like,
it's
I don't even
healing
think
to
about.
hear that.
Yeah, I think I have, like, normal fears now,
You're
Like
like, "Is my son gonna throw a truck at my newborn's head?" That's a real fear.
exactly, a real fear when he has the truck in his hand and is, like, running towards it, I'm like,
Exactly.
"No!" Or like, "Hey,
Exactly.
he's hitting baseballs, like, I need to turn the baby this way," or like, "He got a little pitching machine." I'm like, "Okay, you are not allowed to turn this thing on if Bennett is
Right.
in the vicinity." I've got to explain that to him, like, "Do not do that," So it's, like, heightened fears of those things, but not those unrealistic, like, post PPA, like,
Yes. Yeah.
crazy thoughts.
I was gonna say crazy, but I'm like, they're not crazy, but, like,
Mm,
like,
they
the
are.
fears that you're like, "This probably wouldn't happen."
Like, when has this happened in the last 100 years? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a
It's like
building,
it's
like,
like
falling
never
onto a
happened.
newborn.
Just randomly, just out of the blue. It was like a nice apartment building. I remember I just never wanted to walk by it because I was like, what if?
This looks unstable to me.
And what if it
Uh,
goes right on us? It's like that was, yeah,
and we're
exactly.
right here.
Like
Oh my gosh.
relatively new build too.
Yeah, that you're like,
Um,
this is whatever. But it's good to hear that you're, like, feeling so much better in this postpartum. And now that baby number 2 is here and you're settling into Boston, what are you looking forward to in this next chapter?
I'm honestly, I'd hate to wish away the newbornness, but I really am excited for my kids to be able to play together. Like what you were saying about them playing
Yeah.
together. Like I can't wait for that chapter. And like right now, my son's 3 in like 3 days. He's so fun to travel with and like to do stuff with. Like I like hanging out with him. And like I think he's a
Aw.
fun, like, yeah, he has his tantrums and whatnot, but like I enjoy doing the flights with him and I like the trip. So like I'm excited for when they're both that age. I think it'll be really fun to like do like our life is crazy, all these traveling adventures and
Mhm.
things. And I'm like, I think that will be a really fun phase. And I think me and my husband both are kind of realizing it now, like, look how cool this is. Like we made a little human, like
That
we
has
have,
thoughts and feelings and is super
yeah,
funny and, like, kinda crazy.
yeah. Like he has his
I love
moments,
that.
but I'm like, he's funny. Like he tries to
Yes.
make jokes and we're like, it's actually pretty well timed. That was good.
You're like, "He
Uh,
gets that his humor, from me."
yeah,
Oh my god.
definitely
Yes.
not me.
Oh my gosh, I
Uh,
love that. Okay, well, now we're gonna jump into some rapid fire questions. So, like,
okay.
this or that. Game day
Okay.
glam or game day sweats?
Ooh, sweats.
Off season or regular season?
Off season. Actually, that's kind of a hard one. Off season. I got to stick with
Yeah.
it. It's rapid
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, yeah. For workout, I'm like, both. For workout recovery, hot tub or cold plunge?
Cold plunge.
Home games or away games?
Home games.
Southern cooking or New England seafood?
Southern cooking.
Rain delay or extra innings?
Oh, extra innings. Yeah,
Yeah.
extra innings.
I'm like, I don't want to be
No, rain
sitting.
delay is like, yeah, no.
Yeah. No, thank you. Coaching your kids' teams or cheering from the sidelines?
Cheering from the sidelines.
Love that. Okay.
For
And
sure,
that's,
for me.
yeah, you're like definitely sitting on the sidelines. Thank you. You're like, I'm gonna relax and worry about the baseballs coming toward my head, but that's about it.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Sunday Sports Club. I know so many moms are going to love hearing like your take on postpartum and life changes and moving. I mean, in and around having a baby is always crazy. So I know a lot of people are going to enjoy that. Where can everybody find you on social media?
On Instagram, Reagan Elizabeth.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you
It's
so
so much fun. I'm so glad we got to talk.
Yes, thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sunday Sports Club. Be sure to tune in every Sunday wherever you get your podcasts.